Can you tell me a little bit about what you want for your son and daughter, and how Miss Candelario's class plays into what your goals and vision is for them?
I want them to love Spanish. They had 3 or 4 years of Spanish before her classes, and they were just very jaded from the type of instruction and the way that they were learning. And Miss Candelario made it so innovative and so creative and so exciting, and yet she took the language and connected it to what's going on in contemporary society. And she gave activities where they were involving themselves into the community and they were involving themselves into contemporary news, but while using Spanish. Everything was current and contemporary. And so she made it exciting and innovative and creative. And I wanted them to have that love of language. I teach English, so I want people to have a love of English. Well, I also want them just to have a love of language. And that's what I wanted for my children. And based on what I saw that happens in her classes, I knew my children would get that from her.
And how do you see that playing out this year as they've had her?
They're excited to go to her class. They're excited to do her work. I see them working on her projects all the time. They're excited. They're using the language. I have a Guatemalan cousin, and the kids talk to him all the time, and I actually hear them conversing in Spanish, where before they were, not doing it. But they just have really just encompassed the language and are enjoying it more. And my daughter is going south for college, so she'll have more of an application to use it. So I'm really excited because now she'll actually have that language acquisition and be able to use the language.
Awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about your relationship with Miss Candelario and how that relationship developed and evolved? What do you like and not like about it?
My relationship started with her and that I met her as she was the teacher. You're good. She was the teacher right across the hall from me, and I could hear what was going on in her classes, because I could hear all of the hubbub going on in her class. And it was like, let me go make sure everything is okay. And that was her kids having fun in class. And then I'd hear them in the hall. They were doing an activity in the hall. And so a lot of times I would take my kids over so that we could watch. And then eventually we just really started talking because we had the same students. So then we started coordinating assignments together, so that an assignment that they could start in one class, they could then work on in her class, or they could do the assignment in English in my class and do it in Spanish in her class. So we tried to do a lot of collaboration together so that the students could really grasp the concepts, especially for like verb conjugation or something like that, for the 9th grade level students, that they could grasp it not only in English but also in Spanish and be able to recognize how verb conjugation differs between the two languages.
Awesome. I'm trying to figure out which one. How do you think Miss Candelario defines success for your son and daughter?
Loving the language and using the language. And it's not whether they can pass a test, which I really think that after her they will be able to, but her whole idea is that learning should be fun, and you should want to seek more knowledge as a result of how she has wet their whistle for the knowledge. So, and I think that's what she's done, and I think as a result, those kids will then further go on and to pursue language, or not necessarily study Spanish, so to speak, but they will not have any reservation behind applying for a job or putting themselves in an employment position or an academic position where they will now have Spanish. And that's her approach. She makes it innovative. She makes it exciting. She makes it fun. There's never a downtime. There's never a downtime. There's never a downtime where the kids are just sitting there the whole time doing nothing. They're always engaged. They're always moving around. There are so many things going on at one time. It's just a plethora for the senses.
What do you think other teachers could learn from Miss Candelario?
Creativity. Definitely creativity, because she really comes up with some crazy assignments that just really hold the kids' interest. The connected rapport that she creates with kids. Like, she does her little rap session with the kids or whatever, and the kids love it. They absolutely love it. They say, oh, Miss Candelario, she can spit some lines, and da-da-da-da-da. And so that connection that she makes with them, and then they realize that, oh, wait, so she is really cool. She doesn't have that big generational gap, that she can understand and connect with us. And that's one reason why she's so effectively able to incorporate something that's contemporary music or whatever into their assignments. And I just, the kids just are drinking the Kool-Aid that she's putting out, that's for sure.
She does have great relationships with them.
Yeah.
How has she impacted the broader school community? You talked about you learned from her by being across the hall. I don't know if you want to expand on that or.
Yeah, well, and not just that, but she's also been instrumental in starting the Interact Club, which is a community service club, but more on an environmental basis. And I'm a Jefferson Award winner, and both of my children are State of Delaware Youth Volunteer of the Year Award winners. And so community service is something that's huge in our family. And so I'm totally excited that she's starting that. And that's one way that she is just not reaching out to her students in her class, but she's engulfing herself into the whole school and into the community, and is really adopting the community as her second home. So I'm excited that she's starting that, and I've even said, I hope Ms. Candelario will include me on some of what she's doing with Interact, because we've got roads adopted and everything else, and I'd really like to involve myself in that. And that's what she's doing, to do more than just what's in her classroom.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you'd like to say, either from your perspective as a colleague or a parent?
Oh, I want to cry. We are blessed to have her. We are fortunate to have her. I was really worried that when her Teach for America contract here ended, that she would leave and go back to New York or whatever. I'm thrilled to find out that she's at least committed to another year. I'm really hoping that she never leaves here unless she's figured out a way to clone herself to have another replacement here, because she is truly, truly the type of teacher and the type of person that this high school needs.